This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Postgame reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. And my man Tony Crow. What's going on with you, ladies and gentlemen? I apologize that I wasn't on Wednesday. I have a corneal abrasion, which means I can only have limited time in front of the screen because I have a scratch going across my eyeball. It's getting better now, but even right now, as I look into the light, as I look into the camera and the light shining in my face and the two screens are in my eye, I can feel my eye bothering me. So I apologize, and I can't be on for too long tonight because of scratch on my cornea, which is kind of crazy, but that's what I have right now. So ladies and gentlemen, I missed the Knicks lost. I mean, I'm kind of happy because they lost to the Jazz. It was dismal. Like, come on, it's like, what's going on? But we get a nice win tonight. We score the most points scored in the NBA tonight, 145 points. Right, we blow out the Denver Nuggets.
Most assists as well.
The most assists as well. You know what I mean? So it was a good night for the Knicks tonight. 145 points, 45 assists on 56 shots for the Knicks. Tony, what's popping, man? How you feeling about it?
I mean, it's so many. First of all, this is how you bounce back. You know what I mean? We didn't get to talk about the loss, but this is how you bounce back. You know what I mean?
This is how you bounce back.
So,
no doubt about that.
Kudos to them.
That's what you do.
Because that Jazz game and the way they lost was very concerning.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The lack of effort. I mean, I don't know if it was lack of effort. It was more so like really just no shot making.
No shot making.
You know what I mean?
The Knicks had won 4 in a row. The Jazz lost 4 in a row. Right? So one team desperate, one team kind of feeling like, okay, maybe we got something clicking.
Exactly. So, yeah, this is a perfect way to bounce back.
Yeah.
I guess just to jump right in, my question is, you know what I mean? We've seen the Knicks have good wins, right? And we'd be like, oh, they haven't even peaked yet, or this ain't the best that we can see. This has to be close to the best that we are gonna see from them, right? Like we gotta hope for consistency at this point and seeing these type of games more often. But can you imagine it being better? I mean, we didn't overshoot the 3, so maybe we have a better 3-point shooting game. You know what I mean? Mikal didn't shoot the ball well. He ain't really play well. You know what I mean? So maybe he could play better. But other than that, it's like this might be the best. This might have been what we're looking for. Not saying we've reached that spot yet.
Yeah.
But this is I mean, I can't imagine it being better than this.
The only way I could see it being better is if the defense held them under 100 points or something like that, right? Then it would be a total
defensively great point.
It would be they would totally demolish them. That's the only way, because it's not like they took a crazy amount of shots, so it's not like the pace was mad fast, right? They took 92 shots tonight, so it's not like the pace was crazy fast. Because a lot of times you might play good defense, but the pace was so fast, the other team still took a lot of shots.
Mm-hmm.
When we talk the Nuggets, they shot 44% from the field, 33% from 3. It's not like they shot great, but it wasn't like where the Knicks held them to like 30% shooting and 20% from three or something like that. That's probably where, you can get, if you're talking about them playing better, I guess if you're nitpicking, right, that's, that would be better, right? I guess if you're nitpicking, but still, they shot 44.6% and 33% shooting, below their averages. So that's still decent defense, I guess. And to my man House Flan, actually, next time I have a scratched an abrasion on my cornea, I'm just gonna wear like those blind people glasses. Right, I'm just gonna wear the big
with
giant black glasses. Just come on here with the Ray Charles glasses.
Well, I thought you meant the glasses that got the eyes in them. You know what I mean? When you fake like you awake, but you
right.
sleep.
But I mean, I don't know. Can you get better than this?
We talking about career night for OG. I know we're gonna get into it. Career night for Brunson as far as the assists. We're gonna get into it. You know what I mean? Like this was a special. You know what I mean? A special
game. It's a nice game. You know what I'm saying? This is not more than it being the best. Obviously, the best we've seen this season, but more than it being the best, the best that they've played. I mean, it's more than it being the best that we would have seen, that we will see. It's the best that they've played up to this point of the season. Right.
I mean, and those two stats is the best the NBA has seen. You know what I mean? When you talk about the point scored and assists.
Yeah. And it also shows the potential that this team has. You know what I mean? Are they going to drop 145 every night? No, because that means they got to shoot 60% every night. That's not going to happen. Right? But it just shows the potential of the offense. You know what I mean? And when we talk about the assist numbers that they've been getting, there's no doubt in my mind that soon this will be the top assist-getting team in the league. You know what I mean? It's no way that it's not going to be. It's going to be the top assist-getting team in the league. But let's talk about, I think we should just go down.
I was going to say, who you want to start with?
We'll bring the box score over, and we'll go down the list of players and just talk about each one of those players. Right? Michael Parker, thank you for the super chat. It says, salute, Knicks Nation. Fellas, do you think Toronto was aware of OG's offensive potential prior to trading him to us? Is OG the second or third best player on the team? So I guess we can start with OG.
Fair.
Right? We'll start with OG. Good question, Mr. Parker. Good question. OG tonight, 40 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 69% from the field. He was 16 for 23. 71.4% from the three-point line. He was 5 for 7. He was 3 for 3 from the free throw line. And if that's an area that you got to nitpick, we only shot 16 free throws.
Great point, too.
Right? And that's something that we've talked about, for a couple of weeks now. But to answer your question, I think they probably felt that OG had potential to be an offensive threat, but didn't know, like me, if he had the mindset to be an offensive threat. Although OG has said that he wanted to be a bigger part of the offense, right? I think it was more about they needed a shake-up. It was done. Everything was done for them. You know what I mean? And I don't think OG's not the guy that you're going to build your team around. You know what I'm saying? You're not building your team around OG. And I think, they felt like we need to break some things down and get younger players in and start preparing and putting pieces around the potential of a guy that's going to be there. right? So, we got Quickly, we got RJ, we got some other pieces. Now we get a guy, right? And then now we can figure out, do those guys fit with that guy? Do we need to trade them? Da, 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 da. Things like that.
And
So I think it was more of that than, OG's offensive, I think it was more of that.
I agree. I agree 100%. I think the fact that there was a log jam in a sense at that position, you know what I mean, and nobody, like, he's not an alpha,
Right.
like you know what I mean. So he wasn't gonna establish himself outside of the other guys. So I think in that position they were looking for an alpha first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In a position of where they were with team building. You know what I mean? You think about Siakam, you think about OG, you think about Barnes. Like, all these guys are similar in position. So they were probably looking for, all right, who's the franchise guy?
Yeah.
So we could start our foundation,
Right.
and not the glue guy, or, you know what I mean, the complimentary guy.
Right. And I think that's where it is, Although OG can be a complimentary guy on just about any team, he also probably didn't fit the timeline of the guys they were trying to build with right now. And at a certain point, OG is going to be well above their age. He's 30 and they're still 25 or something like that, and just not going to fit in that timeline. So, I think it was more about that, but it's beautiful for us. If OG can really come into his own offensively, right now, I look at him as the third best player on the team. Brunson and Cat, at this point in time, even myself, Tony, I had from the beginning of the season, I was like, oh, it's Brunson. He's the best player on the team. I don't know. He's the leader. The leader doesn't have to be the best player. He's definitely the leader of the team, right? That's what he is. Is he the best player? I don't know, man, because Karl Anthony Towns is balling out of his mind every single night. Every single night, the dude is just straight hooping. But we're going to get to Cat. Let's talk about OG. 40 points tonight. Career high, right?
Career high. I think career shot attempts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And definitely for the Knicks, 23.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, defense. Let me just start with, I concede. You know what I mean? You asked me last week about OG and making an all-star team, and this, he might make it above. I said he might have to be the third guy. He might not have to be the third Nick. You know what I mean? Like, because his impact is crazy. You know what I mean? Both ends of the floor. And he's actually only getting better in these last like 5 to 7 games. It's like, it's been steady, but it's been a steady incline.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It hasn't been like the same. He's doing more and more.
He's doing more. Yeah, he's doing more and more, man. And it's looking like he's just getting comfortable. Right? He's getting comfortable in his role with this basketball team. And maybe even realizing, we're going to get to Bridges, but maybe even realizing, oh, I'm the third guy. Right? And when you realize something like that, all of a sudden your responsibility level steps up. Right? And now you feel more responsible for the team itself. And you're like, I better, I need to, this is what I need to do. Because we've seen that OG, when players are out, will step in and be able to score the ball. Everything doesn't look pretty and all of that stuff, and look like this super duper offensive threat. But he's been able to step in and score on those nights, and that's because he's making up his mind to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
That's what Coach said. He's been just more decisive.
Yeah. You know, he's averaging 19.1 points per game.
He right there.
Right
He right
there. He's going to be a
there.
20-point scorer for this team because with what I'm seeing, he had 27 against Utah, 14 against Phoenix, 16 against the Wizards, 24 against Brooklyn. Those are the last 5 games. You know, he's I'm gonna say he's the 3rd best player on the team right now for sure, in my opinion. And we had this discussion a couple of weeks ago whether or not he's, the 3rd best player on the team. Some people believe he's the 2nd best player. Do you think he'll keep it up though? Do you think it's clicked for him?
I do, more so because it's a necessity, right? Like, again, going back to the Toronto things, it was multiple guys in that position. You know what I mean? He's and even if you go back to last year, his impact on the team is undeniable as well. Like when he was unavailable compared to when he was available, how he looked and how he impacted the game, whether he was playing this well or not. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
but I think he's this is what he's been waiting for. And then once you get that taste, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hard to revert back.
Right. Wrong one. D Moore said OG is the most important piece by far. You believe that? You agree with that?
I agree because it's going back to the impact when he's available and when he's not, and how we look and how we play. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's night and day. You know what I mean? Like we just our first back-to-back loss was our first back-to-back loss with OG.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
his impact, it says it all.
Right.
So I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. Sean Richardson said 3rd with mad question marks. Again with this sim. Okay, I'm going to put it like this. Without Cat, without Brunson, OG probably isn't as efficient that he's been. He'd be seeing double teams, right? Does he handle double teams? You know, we don't know any of that stuff about him because he's not in that role. You know what I mean? So, a lot of what he's doing is, in the same with Mikal, a lot of what he would have been doing, because right now OG's doing what we expected Bridges to do, would have been because of Cat and Jalen Brunson. See, I think you put Cat and Jalen Brunson on any team, and they're going to be one of the top 2 or 3 scorers on the team, players on the team, just because OG may be more fit-based, in my opinion.
And there's another part of it too. We've never seen him have to be the lead guy
Right.
anywhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? So even if, like you said, you take Brunson off, you take Cat off, let's just hypothetically, those 2 got to miss a game. I would think the lead guy is gonna be Mikal. Even if OG's playing better or is the better player, it's because, number one, Mikal's been in that role before, right? So he's more accustomed to it. And again, like, we've never seen it from OG. Even in certain times in the past, I'll say, when we've seen him kind of try to do too much, it's evident. You know what I mean? Like, so it's so I agree. Like, a lot of his success is predicated on the 2 guys that's doing what they're doing.
Right. So yeah, third best guy, Sean, Mr. Richardson, 3rd best guy, in my opinion, on this basketball. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with that at all. But great career game for OG, and it's probably just going to springboard what he's doing this season. Going to springboard it. Well, I mean, we're gonna get to Mikal, man.
I just hold that one for when we get to it, because
Yeah.
I want to
All right.
respond. I got a question.
Let me read this. Sean says, y'all keep downplaying OG. Y'all can keep downplaying OG if y'all want to. He's emerging as the best player on this team. Okay, this is what I'm gonna say. If he's emerging as the best player on the team, give him the ball in the clutch and tell him to go get a bucket. I just leave. Just give him the ball night in and night out in the clutch and tell him to go get a bucket. And let's see how many people start to get mad at him because he turns it over in the paint or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think he has the same offensive skill as Cat or Jalen Brunson. He does not. Now, as far as being a defender and an offensive player, yeah, he does do that. This, without a doubt. If you want to look at it that way, he's better than both of them that way, right? But you're not throwing him the ball to go get a bucket when you need one. You know what I'm saying? His bucket is going to come because the other two guys created.
And that's also not saying he's not capable of it. He's just never been in that position. Yeah. And then you know what I mean? Especially like for like a year, a season, you know what I mean? Like he might have been in that position for possession, you know what I mean? And even those have been shaky, but that's not taking anything away from him. Like he's been great.
Yeah. Sean said it's not all about getting a bucket. You got to look at what he's doing on both ends. I get that. That doesn't mean he's your best player.
Well, it depends on how you look at it, because some people they stand on that argument, and I honestly, I used to be one of those people that stand on that argument. But the way the league, is
because if that's the case, there's been mad players throughout the league who give you decent numbers offensively, are great defenders, but they wasn't the best player on their team. You know what I'm saying? There were players that were better than that person on their team, because you can have someone who is so far ahead offensively, maybe they're a little bit less defensively, but the offense outweighs the defense and those things. You know what I mean? I just don't think he's the best player on the team. I don't think he's emerging as the best player on the team. I don't think we can just, like, Cat is probably, right now, if you say we need 30 tonight, we need 30 and 15 tonight, he can make up his mind and go get 30 and 15. I don't know if you can say to OG, we need 30 from you tonight, if he's going to just make up his mind and go get 30 and still play the defense that he's accustomed to playing, right? Because he's just more offensively focused. OG's the offensive guy that he understands his role as defense, and then he's going to take what he gets offensively. There may be nights when he's quiet. There's going to be nights when he's not as quiet. He's becoming more consistent offensively, though. You know what I mean? I just don't think he's the first or second best player on this basketball team. It's okay. He don't have to be. I mean, he don't have to be. Because if you're going to say that, right, because rebounding is part of the game too. As a matter of fact, rebound finishes off the defense, right? If you're going to say that, then you got to say, well, Karl Anthony Towns is getting you 12 to 15 rebounds every single game. Just as important as the defense, because it finishes off. As a matter of fact, he had 14 defensive rebounds tonight, which means when the Knicks get a stop, he's grabbing the rebound to make sure we get the ball back. Then put that into the equation too, right? If you're going to, you got to put everything in the equation. OG's not grabbing that number of rebounds.
You know what I love about this stuff? This is a great argument to have.
It is.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a great debate. You know what I mean?
Jalen Brunson is probably averaging the most assists right now that he's averaged in his career.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta factor that in too.
I think this is more double digit assists so far this year than last year.
Yeah. You know, so I mean, you know, there's a lot of positive things going on with this team right now. After having a rough start, a scary start for a lot of fans, a lot of positive things going on. You know, if they would have beat the Utah Jazz, I'm salty over that loss. If we would have beat the Utah Jazz, we'd be sitting at 11-6 right now, sole possession of third place in the Eastern Conference and riding a 6-game winning streak.
I was tight, but the more I looked at it, and I let me preference by I didn't get to watch the game. I was at work. But the more I looked at like the box scores and the highlights and the the rundown, they just didn't have their shots wasn't falling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it happens. It just
They was kind of playing like they were stuck in the mud.
they ain't go out like the night before. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing to
They
do.
might have went skiing. So I don't know. Josh Hart had 12 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. You know, a low-key night for Josh Hart tonight.
I think his impact was bigger than his stats tonight.
Yeah. I mean, still 6 rebounds, 5 assists. I mean, you know, he still filled up the chat board. 1 steal tonight, 1 block. You know, 5 for 5 from the field. You know, he shot 100% across the board. 5 for 5 from the 5 for 5 from the field. 1 for 1 from the 3-point line. 1 for 1 from the free throw line.
Well, that's pretty impactful.
You know, it's impactful. It's impactful.
And big 3 late in the third, I believe it was.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Karl Anthony Towns. Get back to Cat. 33 minutes tonight. 30 points, 15 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. He shot 12 for 15 from the field, 2 for 2 from the 3-point line, 4 for 6 from the free throw line. You know, and Cat is right now, in my opinion, having the best season of his career. He's averaging 26.3 points, 12.6 rebounds per game. You know, this is 26.3 points is the second most in his career in 2019, 2020. He averaged 26. He averaged 26.5, but in my opinion, he's going to eclipse that. He's going to be close to a 30-point per game scorer, I think, this season. You know, 28, 29 points per game or something like that. You know, double-digit rebounds. You know, he's giving you everything that you want. You know what I mean? I have no arguments with Karl Anthony Towns at all. Do you think he's going to be a 30-point per game scorer for us?
I think he could get there. I definitely think he could get there. He seems to be getting better, or you know what I mean, getting more comfortable. And that started honestly early, like after I think game 2 or 3, like when we was having that shot attempts talk, like yo, you can't have 8 and 9 shot attempts. Ever since then,
nah.
It sounded like somebody must have told him the same thing we was telling him.
He heard the discussions floating around the internet, you know, and I'm pretty sure the coaching staff was like, "Yo, bro, you got to shoot the ball." You know what I'm saying? You were brought here to be a scorer, shoot the ball, you know, and since then he's been on a tear.
Be like 6 for 8 or 6 for 9 and 7 for 8. Like, dude, you on fire? Why are you taking 80 shots?
Right.
But yeah, man, I think he could be an all-star. I think he could. I mean, honestly, I've been holding it back, but I think he could be in MVP conversations.
He might.
You know what I mean? If he continues to rise.
D. Moore said, "What center is better than him right now in the league?" It's a good question. I don't know if there is one right now.
And what I really like about Towns, I mean, it's a gift and a curse because he seems to go after the top centers in the league. When, like, I'd be like, oh, Towns got this matchup tonight, and then sure enough, he'd be right there with him or surpassing him every time. Like, I was worried about Bam. I was worried about Jokic. I wasn't really worried about Embiid, but you know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, but on the flip side of that is I do think he does take certain centers lightly, and those be the times where you're like, yo, you letting this dude come out? And there's nothing against Sengun because I think he's nice, but you know what I mean? I don't think he has that same level of respect for him. Maybe he got it now.
Right. Right. Now, I mean, Cat could be, playing, he could, if he's not the best center in the league right now, give him another season or two. Give him another season or two. With the Knicks.
Or NBA team? Top 3 center?
I don't see why not. Yeah, top 3 center. I mean, yeah, come on. Got to.
Yeah, like the question said, who you putting over him?
Right.
The only argument right now is Jokic. Embiid ain't playing enough or well enough.
Who else is out there? Anthony Davis.
All right, that's a fair argument, I guess, because he has that same type of defensive impact I think that OG has for the Lakers. I think he has that type of impact. Okay. So I was actually going to bring that up. Like when people make that argument, like I could see people making an argument AD's the best Laker. You know what I mean? Even with LeBron there.
Right.
And it's a fair argument. That's why I like the debate. You know what I mean? I like when people say it.
Yeah. I mean, but Cat, he's just going crazy for the Knicks right now. So couldn't be happier with the trade. You know what I mean? Because he's just balling. And you see what the offense is doing. The potential of the offense is, the potential is crazy. Mikal Bridges. He's been getting the side eye from Knicks fans the entire season. He's been catching the side eye from the Knicks fans.
Warranted?
Yeah, it is warranted.
You know what I mean? Like, I think it's not like he's gotten worse treatment than any former or current Knick ever. You know what I mean? Like that's true. Like there's an argument that Knicks fans have been very lenient with him. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I think the biggest thing with Bridges right now is just the name calling. They just name calling right now.
Yeah.
I mean it ain't too bad.
D. Moore said Mikal has been avoiding contact all season so far.
When I read that, it made me wonder if that's why he's been an Iron Man.
Well,
it's like, is that why he hasn't missed any games?
I mean, but maybe that's something that he practices. Because he's thin, right? Mm-hmm. And so every player wants to be on rhythm. Some players use contact as part of their rhythm, right? Boom, boom, I'm gonna bump you, and then he's gonna bump me right into the rhythm of my shot. Some players may not want it, especially if you have, like Brunson has the body type to absorb contact and then let the contact push him in the rhythm, where Mikal Bridges is much thinner and it may throw him off of his rhythm.
And he does practice it because that's why he does the mid-range. Like if you notice, the mid-range is almost always a fadeaway.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's almost always away from the defender. So, right. I mean, he's like that's part of his strength too. If you want to put it as a weakness, it's definitely part of his strength.
Yeah, and you know, it might be maybe it's in the best interest of his game because, you know, being that frail, I don't know if I want to call him frail, but that thin, he's light. So it's easy to push him off balance. You know what I'm saying? Which throws off your shot, this and that. You know what I mean? You know, I mean, I'm not expecting Bridges to like duck his head down and bang his shoulder into somebody because he's probably not going to move that person.
He's gonna go the other way.
He's going to go the other way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
he's like, I might as well did a fadeaway if I'm gonna go the other way.
Right. Yeah, boom. Oh, damn, I'm falling. Hold up. You know? So yeah. You know. So I can understand why he'd be avoiding the contact. You know, he don't have that body type to absorb it. So
That's the one thing I will say. I think that's probably what's been saving him this season from Knicks fans, though, because you know what I mean, his mid range has been best in the league. You know what I mean? Like he has something to fall back on.
mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess when we lose, we could look at it as a detriment and a reason to why we lose. But I mean, he hasn't shot the three ball well whether we win or lose. You know what I mean? So I could put that as it not being a detriment to the team. Yeah. You know what I mean? At this point, like in a particular game, maybe, but he's just got to find his shot, I guess. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, Sean Richardson said Bridges is giving you what he's been doing his whole career. I don't know what Knicks fans thought they were getting. I think Knicks fans thought they were getting what OG is giving us. That's what I think Knicks fans thought. You know, I expected their numbers to be reversed right now, right? OG averaging more towards 14, 15 20 points per game, and Mikal averaging 20. You know, so I mean, you know, if he shoots the ball a little bit better, you know, he can get those numbers up there.
Do you like the fact that he's not hesitant, that he's still putting them up?
Yeah.
That he doesn't, I mean, I can't say he doesn't look down because if you read the body language and the facial expressions after a miss, he does look like it is a little mental at this point too. But he's still taking the shots. He's not doing what Josh Hart does when he's not in the zone.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Nah, I mean, it's good. I think that's good. You know, take the shots. Take the shots. At some point, hopefully, he's going to fall. Well, the shots are going to fall. Now he's going to fall. The shots are going to fall. We don't want him to fall. Hopefully, you know, those shots are going to fall at some point. You know, he's got to do it defensively as well, though. You know, there's been some complaints this season about his defense, but, you know, we'll see. We'll see if it comes around. I have faith in him.
To me, it just feels like certain matchups, like certain body types. We talk about his body type. I think he just doesn't match up well against certain type of guys. Mm-hmm. And I think Tibbs has to figure that out.
Right.
You can't just automatically have him at this assignment of the primary ball handler.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to look at the matchup. Yeah. But I think Tibbs adjusts throughout the game as well, too.
Yeah. No doubt. Jalen Brunson, the 77, said 17 assists by Brunson. Let's get these championships. Yeah. 17 assists tonight by Jalen Brunson. 23 points, 17 assists. Shot 57% from the field, 80% from the free throw line, 80% from the 3-point line, and 3 for 3 from the free throw line. But the assist numbers by Brunson, right now he's averaging about 8 assists per game, and it's looking like he's going to be a 20-point per game, 10 assist guy per game. You know, the Knicks haven't had that since Stephon Marbury.
Right. My God, they did him dirty.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I love about this stat, man? This 17 assist game from Brunson, this game in particular. Because most of the time when Brunson was having these 10 assists, 11 assists, whatever the case was, and we championed him, he wasn't having a good shooting night. And it was him adjusting. Right. It was him saying, oh, all right, my shot ain't falling. Let me, You know what I mean? Tonight, he could have easily went. You know what I mean? He could have easily took 5, 7, 10 more shots.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because he had it going tonight.
He was knocking them down.
He was cooking tonight.
Right.
But he made an executive decision, a captain's decision.
Yeah.
And said, nah, OG is hot. OG's having a career night. Let me feed this man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Bridges has been struggling. Let me try to get him some looks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what I loved about this night. Like, he shot the ball well. He had every other reason to, you know what I mean, look for himself.
Right.
And he said, nah, I'm having a career night too.
Yeah. And that's what a leader does. You know what I'm saying? That's what a leader does. 17 assists tonight. The Knicks, 45 assists overall. You know, they've been putting up 30 plus assists per night for a while now. And it doesn't look like that's going to change either.
23 in the first half.
It's crazy.
Like, we had some games with 23, and we like,
yeah,
only 23 assists though.
Right. You know what I mean? The Knicks will lead the league in getting assists. I'm pretty sure of that. You know, at some point during the season, obviously, you know, it's young in the season, but they're gonna lead the league in assists. They got too many guys that can get them. I mean, OG had 4. Josh Hart had 5. Karl Anthony Towns had 4. Bridges had 6. Obviously, Brunson 17. Campaign had 5. Deuce had 3. Let's talk about Campaign because Campaign has been
tonight. He's knocking them down tonight.
He's knocking them. He was not, but he's been hot. Over the past however many games, he's been hot. He's really been contributing to the Knicks' wins. He's been ever since Deuce went down, he's been a huge contributor off the bench. You know, handling the ball, playing some defense, knocking down shots. You know, he's been doing his thing. You know what I mean? He's picking it up. You know, he's getting 17 minutes a game. Is about what he's getting. You know what I mean? You know, I'm happy with what Campaign is doing and being that contributor off the bench. Deuce, 27 minutes tonight, 13 points. He shot 5 for 9 from the field, 3 for 6 from the 3-point line, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Glad to have Deuce back. You know?
You hear the Denver crowd screaming Deuce?
Deuce.
Yeah,
right.
We everywhere.
You know, glad to have Deuce back. You know, great games all the way across the board for the Knicks. Just, man, this is one of those historic games you look back on one day. You know, when you look at the game stats, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, beautiful stats from the Knicks all the way across the board. They're out-rebounded. They're out-assisted. The Denver Nuggets, 43 rebounds, 45 assists. Only 9 turnovers for the Knicks. They shot 60.9% from the field, 52.8% from 3, 87.5% from the free throw line. They dominated the points in the paint, 62-46. 17 second chance points to Denver's 8. 24 fast break points to Denver's 8. The Knicks dominated the basketball game tonight. I mean, they blow them out by almost 30, but they dominated the basketball game from the top to the bottom.
Fast break points for the Knicks. That might be a season high, right? 24.
Yeah, that might be a season high.
I don't remember saying 20-0.
No, that might be
fast break points.
Yeah. The 77 said even Elfrid Payton had 21 assists tonight.
Yeah, I was reading that, and then for some reason I just was like, man, Elfrid Payton was under the Tibbs regime. Like, that feel like a lifetime ago.
He played under Tibbs? He played with Tibbs? Oh, yeah, he did.
Remember, that was like, we was the ones, the only two people defended him.
Yeah, right.
Because he played defense.
And they made the playoffs.
Yeah. You
The
know what I
Knicks
mean?
made
He
the
played
playoffs because he
in the
played
playoffs.
defense.
He played 2 minutes and then not play the rest of
Yeah,
the game.
did not play, but yeah.
but I'm like, yo, that seemed like forever ago.
It does.
Like, think of the transition of this team from that
to where we are now. You know what I mean? I mean, listen, I still ain't dissing Elfrid Payton.
Nah, me neither.
You know what I mean?
It
Still
just
ain't,
made me remember.
yeah, still ain't dissing Elfrid Payton, man. You know, he put in some work for the Knicks, like it or not. Y'all gonna get mad that I said that, but he put in some work for the Knicks, like it or not. He was on a playoff team. He helped the Knicks make it to the playoffs. Give it up to him. He couldn't make a layup or a jump shot.
He gave that hard foul to dude trying to shoot the three.
To what you call it, you know. So, you know, give him his props. You got to give it to Elfrid Payton. He put in some work. He wasn't a great player. Couldn't shoot the ball for nothing. You know what I mean? But he helped the Knicks get to the playoffs when the Knicks weren't expected to or should have, you know, all of that. You know what I mean? 145 points for the Knicks tonight, ladies and gentlemen. They gave up 118 to the Denver Nuggets. They win the game by, however that is, 27 points. You know, career night all the way across the board for the Knicks.
Are you doing co-player of the game, or you picking one?
I'm picking one. I'm just gonna go with OG.
We had 2 career nights.
Yeah, I'm going with OG though, because OG's career night to me was I don't want to say more was more. I expected Jalen Brunson would get a high number of assists one day. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
I don't know if I expected OG was going to drop 40.
That's fair.
You know, so
Kevin I'm going co.
Okay.
Just because a lot of Brunson's assists were to OG, so I feel like they came hand in hand. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like OG helped Brunson get the 17, and Brunson helped OG get the 40.
Yeah. Okay.
And they career night.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? I don't want to separate.
I could definitely agree with that. Kevin says, Sim, stop it. L. Ford was a terrible fit as a starting point guard, but we didn't have anybody better. And he helped to lead the team to the playoffs. He was a pivotal part of the Knicks making the playoffs.
Yeah, we wouldn't have made the playoffs without him.
No.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? He was the head of the defense. He was he took on the point of attack.
The Bridges row.
Right. He took on the point of attack. You know what I mean? And you gotta give it up to him for that. He couldn't score the ball. He wasn't the best decision maker and all of that. But he did what he was asked to do at that point in time.
And what was the big thing Tibbs would say? He drew the defense in. Like, he got to the paint. And no matter, even if he couldn't score, he got to the paint and collapsed the defense.
Yep.
And then was able to drive and kick. You know what I mean? Like, you would think, oh, he can't score. Let him, you know what I mean? But no, he collapsed the defense.
Yeah. He said, but he was a pivotal part of that Atlanta series downfall too. He was. So was the entire team. Everybody that was on that team was a pivotal part of it. Randall, RJ, everybody was a pivotal part of it. But we wasn't even supposed to be there. You know? But he's gone now. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? He's gone now. He's not with this team. You know, but I give him props for what he did while he was here. I was never mad at Elfrid. I was never mad at him. You know, and I took a lot of heat from it too. Took a lot of heat from it, but, you know, it is what it is. The Knicks are where we are now. So looking at what we've done over the last couple of weeks in comparison to Boston, Cleveland, you know, where do you see us now as things are starting to come together?
I still think we need time to solidify this, right? It you know, that letdown game,
Mm-hmm.
this doesn't erase that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So now we gotta we wanted to see when we were winning we won 4 in a row.
We won. Yep. We won.
Before we lost that 5th game, we was talking about, oh, we're winning the games we're supposed to, right? And we want to see it against the upper competition.
Right.
So what did we do? We dropped one that we were supposed to, win, and then we got that opportunity against the upper competition.
Yeah.
And we showed improve.
Yeah.
But we still got to continue that path, right? We got to continue to beat the teams we're supposed to, and we got another test coming up, right? Dallas. They just came out the finals.
Dallas. Yep. We take on the Dallas Mavericks on Wednesday. In Dallas? Let me see. Is it in Dallas?
Oh, yes, we're still on the road. And I will say this, just to go back to your question, if we played Boston right now, I do think it would be a different outcome. Like I'm not saying we would win. I'm not saying we're fully there yet, but we're a different team than opening night.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So, well, you know, I'm looking forward to getting a win. You know, we're 10-7 right now. We're 11-7 on the season, and you know, really start, you know, making that push and being the team that we expected to be. You know, great win from the Knicks, man. 145 points, 45 assists. You know, career nights from OG Anunoby, from Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns doing his thing. You know, what can you say? Great game.
It is. How do you follow that, bro?
Right. I mean, you know what? Just follow that joint with a win. That's all. Shoot.
That's true.
Follow it with a win.
That's a fact. Don't try to chase stats.
You ain't gotta chase that joint. Just get a win. I don't care how you get it. Just get the win.
You're right. We'll take an ugly win.
Yeah,
okay.
I'll take one.
We're used to it.
Yeah, just get the win. Shoot. Ladies and gentlemen, my eye is reaching its capacity right now. For those who don't know, who maybe joined us a little bit later, I have a corneal abrasion. It's getting better now, but my right eye has a scratch over the cornea, so I can only withstand so much light at the moment. Couple more days, and it'll be back 100%.
Start acting up. I'm gonna send you the Slick Rick patch just for the streams,
just for the show. That'd be crazy. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate your time, and we're up out of here. Oh, we'll probably be doing a Losers Lounge tomorrow night. So, yeah, check us out. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Postgame reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Nick.